How to butterfly a Branzino. What's up, y'all? I'm Reed the Fishmonger, and today we're gonna teach you how to butterfly Branzino. It is very popular in restaurants, and butterfly is a common way to serve it. Got these beautiful fish in. These were not previously frozen. That's called rigor mortis, and that's a good sign of freshness. You see how stiff these fish are? These were not frozen, and they're currently not frozen. This is called rigor mortis. That is a great sign of a fresh fish. First things we're gonna wanna do are remove the scales. I like using this spoon with some teeth on it. Snip off the fins, remove the gills, and remove the guts. We're gonna clip the fins off. These scissors are from Dry Aged Fish Guy. He's the guy that brought and popularized dry aging fish to the US. And he makes a great fish processing scissor. Now we're gonna remove the gills. So when we open up the gills, you're gonna have a membrane right there. Puncture that membrane, snip, puncture that membrane. Now you can get your finger underneath all of the gills, and you're gonna pull from here, not here. And there you go. And that beautiful bright red color is how you know you've got a fresh fish. Now we're gonna scale it, and I like long, smooth motions. We're working at a seafood market, and efficiency is important. Those long, smooth motions get the job done quicker. And when you're scaling, the broad side of the fish is the obvious spot, but you also want to make sure you get the belly, you want to make sure that you get the collars, and underneath the tail and the top as well. Now he's got all the scales off him. We're going to take our scissors, we're going to puncture part of the scissors into that booty hole and slide all the way up. We're going to cut right through those collars, open them up, and we're going to take all that stomach out. This white part right here is called milt. That is the sperm of the Branzino, and it's actually delicious if you get it crispy. It's like fish foie gras. Now this balloon right here, that is the fish's swim bladder, and it expands and contracts to create buoyancy when the fish is swimming underwater. And there it is right there. We want to get rid of that. Then we're going to use our scissors to puncture that little bit of a blood pocket right there, because we want to get all of that blood out. We can usually push all that blood out. None of the meat of the fish is exposed. It's still protected by the membrane of the stomach and the bones. No part that the actual meat itself is exposed, so we can still use fresh water. We're gonna give it a quick little rinse, and look how clean that is. We got all the blood out of the inside of that fish. We're gonna take a paper towel and dry them off and get to butterflying. A lot of restaurants will label Branzino as sea bass because sea bass sounds fancier than Branzino, and it'll fetch a higher price tag. And most of the fish you see in the market today are farmed like this one is here. These are the tools we're gonna need to finish the job. It looks like he's about to go in for surgery, which he is. All right, first thing we're gonna do is lift up on that stomach. We're going to rest our knife right on top of where that fin was, make a little incision, and slide in. Make sure you're right on top of the skeleton and not cutting through the skeleton to the other side. Then, right at the base of the ribs, we're gonna use just this part of our knife right here, and we're going to crunch through those bones. We can rest our knife and slide all the way down. You want to make sure you do not cut through the skin, because if we puncture the skin, then you don't have a butterflied fish anymore. All right, flip it over. We're gonna go right back on top of where that fin was on the other side. Make sure we're on top of the skeleton, not cutting through the skeleton. And now we're gonna use the tip of our knife to crunch right through those rib bones. Now, we're gonna use the same part of our knife, slide right down. Now that we're here, we're gonna take our scissors, snip right there. Sometimes they'll peel right out like so, and if they don't, you can use your scissors. Also, when you're peeling them, you will leave a little bit of extra cartilage right here, and if you use your scissors, you can skip an extra step and just take that out right away. Most fun part, once you get to the base right here, we're gonna close it. We're gonna grab the skeleton, put weight on the head so that way it's not flimsy, and snap that head right out. And look at that, no meat left on those bones. We're not gonna stop here. We're gonna open up the head. You can see this bone right here. We're going to take our knife and go nice little tap tap on one side of that, angle our knife in, nice little tap tap. We're gonna open that up and that bone will come right out. And here's the otoliths of the fish. A lot of people talking about that on the internet right now. That's how the fish balances itself and how you can tell the age of the fish. All right, now that we've got them nice and flattened out, we're gonna take the rib bones out. Taking the rib bones out, we're gonna slide the tip of our knife underneath all of those rib bones. That way it gives you a nice opening. So that way when you flip your knife back around and you start sliding underneath those rib bones, they'll come right out. And look at that. All the rib bones are out, all the belly is intact. Butterflying is a great way to utilize the whole fish. If there's any discoloration on the meat left in the stomach, you want to make sure you shave that off. Use the tip of our knife to slide underneath all of those rib bones. And that gives us a nice little opening from when we twist our knife around and slide under. Now you can just give a little tug and they'll usually come right off just like that. And there's all of your rib bones. One final step, pulling out the pin bones. You can use your finger to find where the pin bones are. You can use the back end of your knife to slide over the top of them so they peek out a little bit more. So find the pin bone, take your tweezers, get a good grip on it, and pull it out. You want your finger next to where you're pulling. That way the meat isn't following your tweezers and creating tears in the meat. Go to the other side, finger right next to the pin bone, gentle tug. You don't want to grab the top of the pin bone because it'll break off. You want to push your tweezers into the meat a little bit. Make sure you have a nice strong grip on the base of the bone so that way it doesn't break off. If you just break the top off of that bone, you're not going to be able to get the rest out unless you dig into it. And there you go, you've got a gorgeous boneless Branzino butterfly. Now when we say boneless, you still have the collarbones in there, the head bones, but other than that, you've got a perfectly butterflied Branzino. Hope you all have a killer day.